Hello everyone. It's Dawn coming to you on a Saturday afternoon here in Sedona. And my apologies for not showing up yesterday. I had a client call right at the time I normally record, and I had gotten so caught up in the preparation for it. It was really a very juicy, wonderful time with a beautiful client of mine. And I literally, by the time I was done with her, it was time to meet my husband for dinner, and I just wasn't able to get to it. So anyway, let's just start where we are today. I have been in an interesting period of time in my life. In the last more than a week, I've been having this very bizarre experience of having these, I think they're migraine headaches. I've never had anything like this before, but they only happen in the middle of the night. So it's a bit odd, actually. So I'm not really sure what that's about. However, last night I did do that typical pattern of waking up in the middle of the night, being up for a couple hours and sleeping, no headache. So I've been experimenting with diet. I've been really going inward and doing a lot of soul excavation to notice what is the psychological spiritual theme associated with these headaches. And I've done some deep work on that, some surrender work, etc. Hi, Michael. Welcome. And so I know that that's a piece of it. And then I've also come at it from different angles, the dietary piece, some supplements, etc. Just really exploring ways to resolve this issue and understand what the message is. So I heard something recently from a spiritual teacher whom I love to listen to, who's the head of the Unity Church here in Sedona, who really speaks the language of A Course in Miracles, but yet with this sort of new age, broad knowledge spectrum that I very much resonate with. And I believe it was he who said in one of his YouTube teachings, when the message is received, the messenger stops knocking on your door. Or that's a paraphrase. So when I experience dis-ease in my life, I of course look at the issues that could be coming from the physical realm, like diet, exercise, infection. I have to look at, what needs to be disinfected or cleaned. But I also look at the psycho-spiritual component. I see every dis-ease, discomfort, problem as a messenger. That includes conflict with other people or when I'm triggered by other people's behavior. So I see it as a message or a messenger, and it's my job to figure out what the message is. So with these headaches, it's been extremely intense because when I'm in the midst of this like pounding, like migraine-like headache, it's really hard to do anything else but sort of pace and moan. And I mean, I've never really had anything that painful before. Childbirth is pretty painful, but it's a window of time, and at the end of it, you're going to have this beautiful baby to love. So it's qualitatively different. So I've been looking at that, and I've been looking at what is the message. And I've gotten some insights, some very important insights about my thoughts, about surrendering the judgments, still holding judgments toward others, toward myself, deepening into my forgiveness practice, deepening into my surrender, and offering up my judgments and my opinions and my criticisms to the divine for transmutation. And even though I've done this a long time, it's like I dug to a new layer. It's kind of like archaeology. You dig to a certain layer and you find some civilization from 1,000 years ago. And then if you dig further, you find another civilization from 2,000 years ago. And you dig further, before you know it, you're 10,000 years deep. So spiritual work, to do our true work in the world, we have to dig into those layers and really look at ourselves. Hi, Peter. Welcome. Just talking about the Course in Miracles stuff here, surrendering to the Holy Spirit. So I'm sure you'll appreciate some of this. We have to dig. We have to look underneath. What is underneath the judgments? What is underneath the criticism? What is underneath the message that the messenger is giving us that's coming in the form of pain, in my case, migraine headaches recently, disease, frustration, conflict, etc. We have to go inward and look at where we are able to make the change within ourselves. Thanks for the love, Peter. So this is the work that I am really always up to. And this is the place we are at on the planet where it is time for us to begin to really take full responsibility for every aspect of our lives. Anywhere where we are showing up as a victim to other people's judgments, a victim to attack, a victim to circumstances, a victim to our job, victim to time scarcity, victim to financial scarcity. Where are we able to make the shift internally in order to make real change? And that can sound crazy. And for people who are really in that state of disownership of their reality, that can sound like blaming the victim. I get that. I want some water here. And it's not blaming the victim, because I get that there's terrible suffering on the planet that's unfair and unjust. I do get that. I know that there are so many people on the planet who would never have the luxury of even having this conversation, of even beginning to be able to look within and explore how their own subconscious mind, their own psyche, their own beliefs, their own behaviors, their own attitudes is contributing to a problem. And so, because that's the case, because there's so many people in such desperate circumstances, I really feel like those of us we're not just treading water to get a little bit of breath and live. We're actually living. We are the ones that have to be responsible to own our own poop thoughts, as I've said once before on one of these videos a while back. We have to begin to look within and own our responsibility for our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our intentions, even the things that we think are secret, because that is frequency. And since everything is energy and everything is frequency, the energy we're running inside is what's going to vibrate out. And what's going to happen is what's going to come back to us is the messengers in the form of disease, conflict, problems, to show us the true frequency we are running, the true energy we are running and emanating. So those of us who are able, those of us who are not so fractured by trauma that we are barely functioning, those of us who are not so destitute that we are starving, we are the ones who are here to make the change. And we do it by going inside, by looking at our shadow, by owning our shit, and by getting help from the healers, helpers, and practitioners with powerful tools to assist us in the transformation process. So we don't necessarily do it alone. Or as the Course in Miracles says, you don't go in there alone. Don't go into your ugly psyche all by yourself. Take the divine with you. Get allies to support you. Thank you for the love. Do layers of healing, just like I was talking about the excavation, the architectural or the archaeological excavation of layers. We have to go through layers. We have to peel away the layers. And as we go deeper, we have to have the courage to face our inner demons, our ugly lies, the secret judgments we have toward others and toward ourselves. The behaviors that we've done in the past that now would trigger shame in us. Thank you for the love. But we have to do it with a level of self-love and compassion that may come from calling in our angels and guides to be close with us as we do this work, reading Course in Miracles, getting medicine helpers to help us, whether those are new healing modality practitioners, shamans, medicine people. We need the help to do this. We weren't meant to do this alone. So that's one piece that I wanted to share today about that. We need courage in these times, and we need each other. And one of the things that I've noticed a bit, actually it's come up into my field numerous times. I'm not in any kind of, a little bit in a harsh way, but I'm noticing two things, okay? One is People who attack other people of power because they have not yet taken the courageous steps to look within. So they take pot shots from the sidelines. And if you've ever experienced this, I'd love to hear from you, or give me a thumbs up. When you are shining your light and you're beginning to stand in your power or lead in some way, even if it's just like what I'm doing here, giving messages of hope, or really activating your own dreams, really stepping into your soul purpose in a powerful way or in a joyful way. There are people who will take pot shots at you. And sometimes that comes in the form of advice, recommendations, suggestions that are not asked for. And that's the second piece, which is giving or receiving unasked for advice. So I know a number of people in the so-called spiritual community who are really genuinely wanting to do their own inner work. They're genuinely wanting to heal, but they haven't been humbled enough to ask for help. Thank you for the thumbs up. So you're relating to this. Good. We have to be humble to ask for help. We have to be honest with the fact that we are not the authorities on everything, that we do not have all the answers, and that we are sinners just like everyone else. If I use the word sin, is to miss the mark. So we have to humble ourselves enough to receive the guidance and support of others. Hey, Amara, welcome. So, and some of this, I tell you, honestly, I learned this from my own mistakes. Being a know-it-all, giving unasked for advice because I thought I was a spiritual authority, and all of that stuff. This has been a big lesson for me. I mean, it's like an old lesson now, but the shades of it still come up. And so that's a piece of my deep inner work. So there's a couple pieces here. It's almost like is it two sides of the coin? Let me feel into this. It might be sometimes. So when we begin to shine our light, when we begin to step into our power, when we begin to own our own personal truth and live it and lead from that place, it's going to be very easy. You will find people that will show up in your field sometimes and take pot shots at you. I've had some interesting encounters with people taking pot shots at me as I stepped into my authority, and as they, from their position of whatever their position was, sort of hiding from their own leadership. So sometimes those pot shots come as sort of backhanded, unasked for advice, recommendations. And they don't realize, this is the main thing I want to get across here. They don't realize how off-putting they are when they give unasked for advice. And they don't realize how off-putting they are, as I didn't when I was doing it. I really didn't. How off-putting they are when they take pot shots at you, thinking they're helping you to face your shit. So what do we do about this? This is a really challenge, because as I was just saying at the beginning of this, the messenger stops showing up when we receive the message. So if conflict and people taking pot shots at us, hey Chris, hi, or people giving us unasked for annoying advice as like they're the authority helping us, doing us a favor by giving this advice to us, well, that can really piss us off, right? And then here we are carrying that around going, oh man, now I'm just totally irritated with that person. What a jerk. They're being such a jerk. And then we have to go within and look at it in ourselves, because everything is energy. So those people show up in our lives when we're running some kind of energy that needs to be cleared about it. This is a very metaphysical conversation. So what do we do? So let's imagine for a moment that you have someone that comes into your life and is with seeming kindness, friendliness, authoritativeness, maybe even a little bit patronizing, but they don't know it. They don't know it. They're giving you advice. You haven't asked for that advice. You weren't looking for that advice, but they think that's part of their friendship with you. And at some point, you're just like, hey, as us East Coast Italians would say, I don't want your advice. What do you do? it's been a dance for me. It's been a real dance. So the first thing I do is I go within. Why am I triggered by this behavior? So if it's not triggering you, this is a non-issue. It's just like, oh, yep, there's that person. They don't realize that they're being a little bit off-putting by that behavior, but it's okay. I love them anyway. Let them do it. But then sometimes people might you get that little like, so I look within first. Where am I showing up that way, or where am I running that frequency somewhere else in my life, where I'm judging someone else or thinking that I know what they need to do, even if I'm not saying it to them, because at least I've learned the lesson not to give unasked for advice for the most part, although my son might argue otherwise. I'm really trying to get better at that. I'm getting better at that. So the first thing is look within. If someone's giving you unasked for advice, or if someone's taking pot shots at you while they're sort of hiding on the sidelines of their own life, while you're actually taking action toward your soul path, look within. What is that message giving to you? That is the very best, most positive thing you could do to resolve that energy and to stop drawing that messenger to you. The next thing you can do is love yourself and forgive yourself for whatever that energy is you've been running once you get at it, or even if you don't get it at it. Even if you don't fully, you go like, all right, this person keeps showing up in my life and they're irritating the crap out of me. They're so annoying me, but I can't figure out what it is in me that's a vibrational match to this energy. So even though I don't know what it is, I call upon my highest self to help me see this from a new perspective, and I willingly forgive myself. I ask for a higher perspective to show me, to reframe this for me. Or as I like to say from A Course in Miracles, please transform my perception so that I can see the truth, followed by, I offer this up to the Holy Spirit that we may both be healed and free. So offering up your own judgment or your own frustration around it. So, and then forgive them. You could even call upon their higher self and say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me for my judgments or whatever it was in me that attracted that. Please forgive me, I forgive you, thank you. So that's the Ho'oponopono prayer. So the more that we can look within first when people come up and give us unasked for advice or take pot shots at us from the sidelines of their own lives, the more we bring love to a situation and to ourselves. And this is not like a one-time thing, like do it first time and you get it. This is probably harder than learning to ride a bike. In fact, it is, because there's so much indoctrination to judgment and separation. So it's an ongoing practice. It might be a daily practice. It probably will be a lifetime practice, and that's perfectly okay. Because those of us who have the luxury to do our inner work, to face our own shadows and to heal and transform our lives, we are able to do it for all the many who cannot. Thank you for the love, Chris, and whoever, I didn't see who that other person was. Thank you. We are responsible to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet, because we have the ability to do so. Because we're not starving, we're not destitute, we're not junkies, we're not alcoholics that can't function, we're not so psychologically fractured that we can barely survive emotionally, energetically. So we have the luxury to do the great work, and this is the great work of our times. It's the great work of facing our shadow, of taking responsibility, and raising our own inner vibrational frequency, because everything is energy. And the more we raise our own frequency, the more we bring love and light to the planet. And the way that we do it is not by oming and chanting on a mountaintop. That would be easy. That would be nice. The way we do it is by the interpersonal challenging relationships that throw ugliness in our face and say, here, clean this shit up. And it's all your fault. And then you say, okay, I take this shit and I transmute it into light with love. Hey, Joe, good to see you here. So that is my message for today. I thought I was going to talk about something else. Oh, well. I would love to hear from you. Tell me, what is the light that you are, what is the energy you are transmuting in your life right now? Have you ever felt like you were starting to step into your love and your light and your power, and someone in your life who decided they knew better than you was going to give you unasked for advice, or worse, take pot shots at you from the sidelines of their own life where they're not stepping into their power? I would love to hear more. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Anything else? Anything else? I just offer you so much love. I'm super excited about the times we're in. And I want to assure you and ensure you that if right now there's a part of your life where you're like fielding poop storm after poop storm after poop storm from other people in your life, the messenger is saying, go within, start to do a forgiveness practice, a self-love practice, have a daily discipline of self-love and self-care. Sit before your sacred space, wherever that is, whether that's just meditation on a chair or in a couch or in your bed, or as I do in front of an altar that I create each new moon, I redesign each new moon. Offer up your prayers. Ask for the healing and the love to come forth. Ask to have the courage and to get the support and allies, the healers and the mentors, to assist you in going into your own shadow so you can clear it out. Because this is mighty work. It's mighty work. It should not be underestimated, the value of your vibrational frequency rays on the planet at this time. It is mighty work, and it is seen and known throughout the multiverse and throughout the heavenly realms, if you will. I feel that's it for now. Sending you much love, bright blessings, and happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there, and really everybody who has a mother, who would like to be a mother, who is the father of a child who has a mother. Happy Mother's Day. Much love, bright blessings. Until next time, love you all.